Hey guys, I'm Megan.
I'm Ernie.
And I'm Stephanie. And we are
Barn Besties
with
Farm
Fresh
Advice.
Freshly farmed. No. So Megan is excited about this. I love it too. We're here to talk all the things. If you have a horse farm or if you have any kind of livestock, manure management is hugely important. Top priority. So Megan has talked about her wish list.
This is my wish list right here. And I've learned something about my wish list. Ernie, what do you wish you did differently about this?
It needs to be set in concrete so that when you're scraping it, you're not always digging up the fill or gravel underneath it.
Yep.
So the whole thing needs to be set on concrete and with some bumpers, some concrete posts behind it, so that the blocks don't tip off the back of it. So you
they tip off the back.
Yeah, well, because you're always pushing that way.
Yeah.
So you need
you hit them and you push them off.
So you would need a concrete slab with some heavy bollards in them. You know, you've seen them so you can't hit them with your car or whatever behind it. And then these concrete blocks. And
I think cow farmers, dairy farmers, make these big feed bunkers that we drive by.
Just
and
like this though, but they also have big slabs.
So they'll use these. And these, who set these for you? Because these are huge. Are these like a 1 ton each?
Yeah, they're about 2,700 to 2,800 pounds.
A little bit more than a ton and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, almost a ton and a half.
Can't move that with a
I can move them with my skid loader, but the big tractor, we got a loader on, and they'll lift them and
that'll lift it.
Yeah.
Okay. And where did you find this? Did you go to a type of a road construction place?
No,
landscaping.
Over near Slinger, there's a concrete place, a concrete factory where they make it. And a lot of times, what happens is they'll order concrete and they'll have leftover in a truck, and then that's what they make these out of.
Oh.
Nice.
So they were fairly reasonable.
Do you mind me asking the price? Because actually, guys, this is my dream. I have wanted to build it for at least 10 years.
Yeah, she talks about it all the time.
I do. Like, I'm being serious. So roughly, and of course, you built it 14 years ago.
Yeah.
I understand that. But like roughly estimated price per block. So people understand this is an expensive endeavor. You know, like,
but
it's an
digging,
investment.
Megan, digging up the ground underneath you're also, like you said, there was fill underneath. Now you're digging your fill out.
Yeah.
You're sinking, things are getting mushy. Like, so you're all that fill you paid for, in theory, you're getting rid of. So it is an investment, but it's helpful.
This is an investment for your facility for the long range, and that clients don't get to enjoy. Hopefully you get to enjoy, but I think this is a major thing.
And it makes life easier as far as, like you were saying, you come in, you push the bucket against it, and you're loading out to get it out on the field. It makes things quicker.
Yeah.
Much more efficient.
So important. So important.
So what do you think?
Well, when I bought these, I think they were around $35 a piece. I think now they're around 55. But you got to have a big heavy duty trailer, and you got to have a way to move them. You know what I mean? But
I mean, if each one of these, we'll just round up and say they're 3,000 pounds. You got to have a substantial trailer to handle that. And like you said, a tractor or a skid loader that's capable of hauling, like skid loader I had would not be capable of 2,800 pounds.
Yeah, mine won't even lift 1,000. Mine's 800.
Yeah.
So what in my manure pit, this lasts me, when this is full, it lasts me a month, and then I haul it. And I usually haul it on the fields and the farm here. Otherwise, I have a spot up there on the fence line, and I have to store it till fall. And then we spread it out on
for winter hits.
So this is every month I have to haul manure.
Megan's got a big section that she piles in all spring, summer, and fall, and then once the crops at the neighboring field come off, out it goes. So very similar situation, but again, you don't have the concrete underground.
And I don't have. On the ground. I love this because it keeps it contained, and it would be so much easier. So I just have a nice flat spot, and we just dump it in, and I have created a hole. And so, like, I was serious. So thank you so much for showing us.
I do have one more question. We did visit a farm that was a former dairy converted into horses. When they had a bunker, it was a manure bunker. Theirs tipped down so that everything was constantly sliding down. If it filled with water, but everything was on enough of an angle that it had just a slight decline. I was like, ooh, I don't know. I just thought about that in the wintertime. Sliding down and not being able to get in there.
Flat.
Would you put yours flat, or would you put yours at kind of a...
If you look at from the barn to here, there is some amount of pitch and some taper, and you want that because the last thing you want is manure water going towards your barn.
Right.
Yeah.
So
this one was pretty substantial, and I was like, for me, that would be a little bit much, but it had been an old dairy. It had been in there for a while. Really tasty good. But yeah, I mean, that's one of the things to consider, because once you put that concrete slab down, it's in.
Yeah.
You're not going to want to rip that out and start over. So would you kind of follow the natural kind of decline there?
I would. I would have some pitch to it, so it's always away from the building and does somewhat keep the water inside of it.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I always piled and did the same, and periodically before we could get it out in the field, I'd turn my pile to keep it, and the farmers loved it because it was composting. Yeah. And so composted, by the time it went out into the field, they loved it because it was almost black dirt. You're not quite there because you're always kind of adding to it, but it helps, and it kept the smell down too. Yeah. So being able to do that was hard because I didn't have the concrete either. Yeah. So, well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming into the pile with us and telling us all about the things. Again, Megan and I think this is a really great idea, and it sounds like it's pretty economical idea. Yeah. But yeah, hit the subscribe on your way out, guys. We're going to see you on our next video.
Bye, guys. Thank you for watching.